I am very excited to bring to you my 5th composition notebook journal flip through. These are all 5 of my composition notebook journals. I have flip throughs of each of these on my channel. I will link them below so you can go directly to them. This was my first one. This was a complete experiment in 2022, January, February, and March. It was such a fantastic experiment. I kept going with the second, which was April, May, June, July of 2022. Then I went to August, September, October, November of 2022. Started this one in December of 2022, and this took me through March of this year. And I have now completed my 5th one, which was April, May, June, July, and August. Now you may be wondering why, if this has become a part of your daily activity, is it taking you longer to get through a notebook, whereas this first one was only 3 months. I would say the way that I use these has changed. I am using this much more for writing and journaling, whereas these first ones was just an experiment. Truly an experiment. I was probably getting through these a whole lot faster because I was doing more of just an experimental things that I do also in my other art journals. So I think I've probably gone to using my art journals more for those experiments, and this has become more of writing, although I do creatively express in this journal. So without further ado, get to the flip through. I am going to try really hard to make this not too verbose and let you enjoy the flip through. You will notice on each of my composition notebook flip throughs that I make a pocket in the front of all of these because I keep things that I want to glue into this composition notebook journal stuck here. Some of this just stays for the duration. I always add the months at the end whenever I finish because I don't know how long this is going to last. This is just the little cover page. This was from a class that I took. These were some watercolor circles that I had left, and I thought, you know, this would be really cool as a sort of pinwheel, and then it turned into a flower. So this is the first page. Now, what I do is when I start one of these, I take out quite a few of the pages just here and there because this does get pretty thick throughout the time that I use it. I do glue some of the pages together. For example, these two are glued together. What I do is I use watercolors on my writing pages. I have a process video on my YouTube channel for how I do this. I do this 1 or 2 at a time, and then I have them for my journaling. Now, in my past couple of videos, you'll notice that I covered these. I'm not even going to worry about it at this point. I have really taken on a way of writing in this. You'll see as we go, my writing gets a little more messy. I've taken on more of an asemic style of writing. So I'm writing it and I know what it says, but nobody else really could probably read it. Now, part of my composition notebook journal is a glue book, a memory book, a writing book, and creative experiment book. I have also incorporated some morning creativity exercises into my morning routine. Really been sharing a lot of those on my TikTok, but I really need to start sharing those here on YouTube on a short, and I think I'll start doing that with my new notebook. But this is just mail that I've glued in here, taped in here, things that I want to keep. I love to put fruit and vegetable stickers into my journal, packaging, tags, different things. This was a collage. You can't really probably tell, but there was just collaged pieces of paper, and then I painted over them. Anytime that I'm going to use paint, I glue pages together. This is another memorabilia packaging glue book. This was a sweet little card that I got from my friend Olivia in the mail, a little happy mail. So I wanted to keep that to be able to read the back. So it fit perfectly in this little sack. Well, I say it fit perfectly. Now I can't get the darn thing back in there. There you go. So it's just a little pull out. More journaling. If I have any space at the bottom, I'll put stickers, or I'll put a little piece of fodder, or I'll use washi tape. But this is just kind of my morning journaling. I have incorporated a new morning routine this past year. It has been phenomenal for me. This is some grid journaling that I did. Just some more creative mark making exercises. Some photos of my granddaughters that I got. You know, what do you do with these little wallet size pictures? Because I don't know about you, but I don't carry around a wallet that has the little photo flip things in there. I don't even know what you call them, but I decided I would put them in here because I will come much more near looking at them in here than I would anywhere else. This is from the pie festival that I went to this year. This is a creative exercise, and I did this throughout a week, and this is what I was talking about with my morning creative. I call them morning marks or morning pages that I do. I spend about 5 or 10 minutes every morning just with slapping something down on paper, typically after I journal. And there's no real order or rhyme or reason here. I will usually have 3 or 4 spreads of this watercolor pages where I write, and then I'll have a spread that's just from my creative practice. And this actually incorporated a creative practice and some journaling into that page. Again, added some stickers. I try to put the date. Another section of what I consider like a glue book, memories. This is another week-long creative practice that I did with collage and mark making. I had to come back on. This is going to be inserted into the flip through because I realized that one of my favorite spreads did not, somehow the pages stuck together when I was doing my flip through. And so I had to come back and show you this spread because it's one of my favorites. And talk about summer, this Scream Summer. This is from a membership class that I'm a part of, Amanda Evanston Art. This was a method that she showed to show an ocean scene or a lake scene or a pool scene. And I did this as an exercise along with that class. So I had to come back and insert this in. The flip through will continue on from here. Painting. You can see I love to experiment with the watercolors too as the backgrounds, different patterns. Another section of a glue book. Another creative practice here. I love when I get new materials, I can just play with kind of reckless abandonment in this book. More journaling. This was some brochures and memorabilia from my vacation to San Diego in July, and I experimented with some background materials here. This was one of my favorite creative morning practices that I did. I love how this turned out. This was in August, and then I did my journaling. This was a favorite for sure. This was pretty recent, just a couple of weeks ago, and I did do some journaling here. Sometimes I get further ahead and then I go back. This was some blank pages that I had made that I just had to go back and fill in. So again, there's no real rhyme or reason to how this is set up. It's not that chronological, to be honest. I try to keep it chronological, but it doesn't always happen. And you can see my writing gets messier and more asemic, where you can probably read some of this, but not all of it. Sometimes it's real crazy. It just depends on my mood. It's funny, my writing reflects my mood. Another little glue book section, and this was just a page that I made actually last week, and I love this. I made this with a hand cut stencil. I actually hand cut this little stencil that you can see the pattern of here, and I love this color combination. This was actually last week's creative play, my morning marks. And then this was the last page. I made a little pocket here with a clear transparency. This was from the Hotel Del Coronado from the trip to California. I didn't want to try to glue that because it's a napkin, and so I slid that down in there. This was from another trip to the Sun Studio in Memphis. I had the tickets. I love to glue on a bag or something on the back where I can then put more ephemera and memorabilia I want to keep during this time frame, and it's all here in my composition notebook journal. And that is my, I'm going to call this my warm months of 2023, because it's April and spring through August, end of summer. So this is my favorite time of year when it's warm. I love warm weather. I'm a summer girl. I also love the upcoming fall. I'm gonna set up my next composition notebook journal so I can begin, and we'll start my new notebook for September 2023, and we'll see how long it takes me to finish it. I hope you enjoyed this video flip through, that you will consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. I do have a library of videos on here with some different art journaling, creative journaling, composition notebook, art techniques, and I appreciate you watching, and be sure and leave a comment and let me know if you have any questions.